pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Is there a motion to approve the minutes from November?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Yes, unanimously. Tom, announcements?
Announcements, thank you. Our next Board of Commissioners meeting, our final Board of Commissioners meetings for the 2009 calendar year is Monday, December 14th. On that agenda under Parks and Recreation is the Park and Rec Winter Spring Brochure. It's being announced. The next meeting is January 4th. That is the reorganization meeting. Slated to be on that agenda is the update on the Willows Cottage and authorization to go to bid for the Willows Cottage Energy Grant. Our next Parks and Recreation Board meeting is Thursday, January 14th at 6:30 p.m. At the Radnor Township building. Note the time change. That is our reorganization night, so we will meet that night at 6:15. I will send you guys a reminder for that. I want to announce our Holiday at the Willows celebration. Great annual holiday event is this Sunday, December 13th, from 2 to 4 p.m. That is at the Willows Mansion. We will have arts and crafts and DJ and entertainment, and there'll be balloon sculpting with Allie the Clown, and should be a great event. So 2 to 4 p.m. Sunday, December 13th, 2009. Folks should come. We'll have a visit from Santa from the North Pole, and parents can bring their cameras and take pictures too. So that should be great. We have another announcement, which is not on here. We have a community forum on the future of the Willows Cottage. It's the Willows Charrette. It's Saturday, December 12th from 8:30 a.m. to noon. The Radnor Township, Radnor Conservancy, and Friends of Willows Cottage invite not only the Parks Board, but everyone in the community. They would like your help, ideas, and time. Neighbors and township residents are encouraged to take part in the charrette to provide input on the Willows Cottage future and a discussion of usage concepts for the facility. A charrette is a highly collaborative process which allows for participation of all in attendance and the inclusion of many points of view. So it's Saturday, December 12th, 8:30 a.m. to 12 noon, and it's at the Willows Mansion, and refreshments will be served. That concludes my announcements.
Any questions on Tom's announcements? Okay, reports, activities report, Tom?
Activities report. Start off with our winter brochure you have in front of you. I want to thank Leah McVeigh, Tammy Cohen for their efforts in putting together the winter brochure. I think it is an outstanding array of multitude of activities for people of different ages and abilities, and has a lot of one of the big things focusing and hitting us is childhood obesity. We have a lot of programs that we try to coordinate for the children of the community while the kids are out of school. If there's days where the children are released early, or if they have vacation days or vacation weeks, I think you'll notice that with some different types of camps and opportunities to keep the children and youth of the community active and using their leisure time wisely. You'll also note our summer program kickoff registration is Monday, May 3rd. It's Monday, May 3rd. That's always a good date for folks to circle on the calendar. We have our annual Hoops from the Heart basketball clinic that we do in coordination with the Cabrini College Athletic Department. That's on Martin Luther King Day on Monday, January 18th from 9 to 12. We have 2 ski and snowboard adventure trips, one on Monday, February 15th, which is President's Day, the other on Sunday, February 28th. I mentioned that we have a multitude of different types of sports camps. We have a new program on an in-service day called Broadcast News Workshop. It's on Tuesday, May 18th. and it's all about wanting to be a broadcast news anchor, and it might be a fun program for folks if they want, young kids, if they want to do something in that field and experience it. We have some of our standards like after-school flag football, tennis programs in the spring, some nice activities over at the Activity Center. Our birthday party programs have been very popular over at that site as well. Our chess tournament that we are running in coordination with Silver Knights Chess has been very popular. We have one event in March and one in May. You'll see a page where we have further information on our summer programs and camps, also information on individuals who may be interested in summer employment opportunities, and even encouraging them to take the babysitter training course that we're also offering to give them a potential leg up in the interview process for experience purposes. We have in here 2 trips planned for the spring, one to New York on Saturday, April 17th, one to the Inner Harbor on Saturday, May 15th. We have our program list for 2010 for Outer Limits, and that is our program that we run in coordination with Upper Merion and Lower Merion for people with special needs, and it's a great program. We have in here listed the Radnor Conservancy educational events that are slated to take place from January 23rd into the spring. They start on Sunday, January 23rd with Follow Those Tracks. It's a winter hike and track making workshop for kids of all ages, and that's very exciting and a nice program, and they have an array of programs as well. The Radnor Memorial Library has some programs listed in here, and then we wrap up with our community calendars, contacts, organization, so that folks can get certain community dates on their calendars to help them out, and then our registration page. We always end up with our winter safety tips and sledding guidelines for the parks to try and help people in the wintertime recreate in a safe and fun manner. And I'm happy to answer any questions regarding the activities brochure.
Questions for Tom? Great job, Tom. It's great.
Again, my thanks to Leah and Tammy for their great efforts with that program. There's a couple other things I do want to touch on in my monthly report. Our current youth basketball program is in its 21st year. Our thanks to Bob Miklas for his efforts there. We have approximately 1,200 participants in the program right now, and it's going very well. Griffin volleyball program has 21 participants in the program, girls 5th through 9th grade, and this year we have in-house developmental level of play for 2009-2010. The high school tennis court lights have been turned off for the winter season. The parks have been winterized for the winter season. One thing that we added this year was a bolt on the comfort station doors that has a padlock. That bolt can be padlocked in a lock position or in an open position, so we'll be able to open it. Our push codes will still work and be in effect, but what happened in previous winters was there were times when people would kick the doors in and then soil the bathrooms, and it would be a real problem when we went to open the bathrooms in the spring. So it's an additional security measure, and we also hung signs on the doors letting them know that they are closed for the season. And the water has been turned off. The CSA Steering Committee is continuing their great work. I have a wonderful announcement that the Township has received notification from the Pennsylvania Department of Environmental Protection that we received the Willows Cottage Energy Grant that we had applied for. It is for geothermal insulation in windows or the primary areas. Specifications are currently being developed. It will be going to the BOC on the 4th of January to receive permission to go for bid. We're very excited about that project. And kudos to the folks who have worked on that, specifically in the audience. Commissioner John Nagel did a lot to make that project come to fruition, along with the Friends of the Willows Cottage and Conservancy. We have received a check from DCNR for the Cowan Park Grant Project, just received it the other day for the $100,000, which is wonderful. So we'll look forward to moving forward with that project next year. We had an additional meeting, John Fisher, Bob Thomas, and I. We met with the school district in November to discuss the concept of, to discuss the concept of going to Martha Brown's Woods with an eastern expansion of the Radnor Trail, and was a good opening dialogue meeting. We're waiting for further feedback there. We did also have a Trails Committee meeting in November. Actually, it was December 1st, but I'll let the board members who were present comment on that when we get to committee reports. The West Wayne Preserved project and for stormwater management and wetlands restoration, they had presented to the Board of Commissioners in October, to the Park Board in November, and they presented last week at the library, had some positive feedback, and they will be contacting us as potential funding sources become available, and we can look into that. Natural Lands Trust received permission from the Board of Commissioners to perform a stewardship plan for the Willows, Sawmill Park, Skunk Hollow, and Adrossan areas. They had received grant monies from DCNR to perform the plan. There's no cost to the township, and that should be completed, I would think, in the next few months. The concept is to inventory and tie the parcels together, both in a recreational sense, but also in a natural resource sense, to make it a proper plan in a larger scope for that area of the township. The BOC awarded the park bid signs on November 23rd. I've spoken to the manufacturer, and they're going to be manufactured this winter. We'll install them early in the spring. The Odoresio Park basketball court is the only of the three that we were unable to get completed this fall. We'll look forward to get that completed early spring. We were unable to do that because of the excessive rain and then the weather turning cold. It affected the way the court was trying to cure. The department's been in the process of evaluating Park and Rec software for online registration, scheduling, and financials. We're looking to make a recommendation and implement in 2010. I would like to thank Mrs. Waddell, Mr. Cohen, and Mrs. Wachowski for donating the rustic wood benches to our park system. Also would like to thank Mr. Thomas Rosado of Wayne for donating $100 towards the Hartford Dog Park area. And also note a redbud tree was donated to the Willows Cottage area in memory of Christine Ralph, who's the daughter of Radnor resident Sarah Pilling. And that concludes my report.
Any questions on Tom's activities report? Any other questions?
Tom, any activities scheduled or slated for the activity center other than basketball at this point?
Yes, many activities scheduled over there other than that. In addition to the basketball parties, which I mentioned, we have programs for youth and preschool activities.
Are these ongoing now, or are they slated for this?
Some of them are ongoing now. They're even ramping up into the winter season, and there'll even be more.
Any other questions for Tom on the activities report? Shade tree report, Mr. Schwartz?
No report.
School board report, Eric.
Yes, thank you. The school board had its reorganization meeting this past Monday, and we welcomed 3 new members to the board. Susan Michelson, Lydia Solomon, and Rob Armstrong. And we re-welcomed for another 4-year term Brucey Rappaport. I'd like to congratulate our former fellow Parks and Recreation Board member, Greg McNicholas, who has assumed the presidency of the school board, and we wish him well. I'd like to remind everybody that as a service to Delaware County, the Radnor Township School District is offering the use of Radnor Elementary School for the distribution of the H1N1 flu vaccine this Friday, tomorrow, December 11th, Saturday, December 12th, and Sunday, December 13th. This is reported on the Parks and Recreation website, but it's also, there are more details available to it on the rtsd.org website. This H1N1 vaccine is available to all school-age children, kindergarten through age 12, who are residents of Radnor Township. And so I would encourage people to take advantage of that program. And again, for more information, please visit rtsd.org.
Any questions for Eric on the school board report? Committee reports. Is there a trails meeting?
Yeah, we had a Trails meeting last week. I think the main thing that we touched on was the reception that Tom and the others were received when they went out to visit with PennDOT and the folks from the state. And would you say open arms, Tom, was somewhat versus the
previous days?
yeah,
Yes,
initiation
no question.
of the trail. And I think the fact that there's been already dialogue back and forth is encouraging, and I don't think it's going to be an overnight process, but I think at least there is open dialogue from both the township and the state, and hopefully the project will continue to develop, and we'll see where that goes.
Great.
One other thing to note is Commissioner Fisher had asked the committee to look at the concept of a sidewalk by the high school, which the committee did look at, and we provided the feedback, or I provided the feedback to Commissioner Fisher in his packet. Basically, the concept of whether or not to have a trail that's better than the one that currently exists along Lancaster Pike between Radnor, Chester, and King of Prussia Road.
Any questions for Fenton or Tom on that? EAC report? Is that you, Mr. Schwartz, again?
No report.
Is there any-
One thing to note with the EAC is that there is a new web page where it's Radnor Going Green, and the Go Green website page on our website is going to be a great addition for not only the EAC but the Shade Tree Commission and the Park and Rec Board to take advantage of with environmental initiatives. And that was approved last month, and at a commissioners meeting, presentation was made.
Any old business? Any new business? Any audience participation?
I have two things left that I do need to fill you guys in on.
You going to talk about the senior center, Tom?
That's
Okay,
one of the
I saw
things.
it.
Two other things are, one, in your packets, I listed, gave you a copy of next year's meetings. They need to be approved yet by the Board of Commissioners, but that way you have them tentatively to mark down on your schedule. The other is that I am going to be in touch with the individuals regarding the Capital Project Priority Subcommittee, and we will look to get that group together early in the new year to sit down and work on that project. The final thing is, in your packets as well, is a copy of the Wayne Senior Center Senior Spirit, which gives you their end-of-year activities. But in addition, you'll see a memorandum. The executive director and Susan Shapiro and Bruce Wilson, who's president of the board of directors. And also there was a individual from the county as well, I believe. And the three of them made a presentation to the commissioners on Monday evening, the 7th of December, basically requesting that they wanted to go after some grant funding, and the grant funding would allow them to do some modifications that would enable the senior center to increase their level of service and allow some additional nutritional type cold breakfast, and also some take-home meal in the evening type of service. With that, the commissioners needed to provide a written statement saying that they were going to be in the facility for a period of time, and there was no cost to the township to support the endeavor. And the commissioners supported it unanimously at their December 7th meeting. So that's just an update there on the senior center.
Great. John, did you want to say anything?
Well, I wanted, yeah, for now, but I also.
Okay.
Just a little more feedback on two issues that Tom talked about. One is the charrette this weekend. Now, I don't know if you remember, I came to see you folks probably a year ago to talk about the uses of the cottage.
Right.
So far, that's been driven pretty much by the Friends of the Willows, but since I came to you, I mean, it's always been my intent that that should be a community input. So this is a chance to do that. The Friends of the Willows received a $2,000 grant from it was a Henry Jordan grant from the Historical Trust, or one of them, to conduct this. This project has been phenomenal. We've received all kinds of awards. I think getting this grant that we just got is really a feather. That grant includes geothermal heating, insulation, replacement of the windows with period accurate, although not historically correct, windows, and energy-saving fixtures and such. It's about $250,000. That included a $20,000 cash match from the Conservancy, and it also included about a $3,500 equivalent in kind from the Friends of the Willows. So they'll be providing physical labor, or also some of the monitoring and reporting and that kind of stuff that goes along with the project. So we're really ecstatic about that. The big thing with that is, as we go forward to try to get some more funding, that really gives us a leg up. I mean, it shows that it's a viable project and people believe in it and that kind of thing.
What do you think the capital amount is needed to get?
Well, we had done a rough estimate, and it was about $500,000 total, or $600,000.
Right.
That was all in, and it was like a wish list too. Now, since that time, we've actually done a lot of work. We had $170,000 worth of in-kind labor, plumbers, electricians. I mean, it's been an amazing project. So with that, and then this bit we're doing, we're well down the road.
Good. So may I have any questions for John on the project? So we're halfway there, basically.
Yeah, probably more, actually. Because remember, the initial project also included getting the CSA set up. And that was pretty capital intensive at first, between the irrigation system, the well, the fencing.
Right.
So yeah, I think...
Pretty good in this economy. To get
oh, it's been tremendous.
Tremendous.
Yep.
Well, any other questions? Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved?
All in favor?
Aye.